Without further ado, let me present to you my instructional plan under Ed 178B. We have here learning competency, values to be integrated, learning outcome, and learning competency in ESP. Under learning competency, I get that on English Curriculum Guide, Grade 7, Week 1, that states recognize prosodic features such as volumes, features, projection, pitch, stress, intonation, juncture, and speech rate that serve as carriers of meaning. And the value that needs to be integrated to the students is honesty. And the learning outcome would be to create a poem that promotes honesty in any aspects of life and deliver it in front of the class. For the learning competency under edukasyon sa pagpapakatao, it states under number 5.4 na isasagawa ang pagbuo ng angkop na pagpapasya tungo sa katotohanan at kabutihan gamit ang isip at kilos. Nakikilala na natatangi sa tao ang likas na batas moral dahil ang pagtungo sa kabutihan ay may kamalayan at kalayaan. Ang unang prinsipyo nito ay likas sa tao na dapat gawin ang mabuti at iwasan ang masama. Now, let's proceed to the strategies in integrating values across learning areas. I identified 3, namely first, giving one's title a poem, story, paragraph read. So, the purpose of this is that the learners could be asked to give their own title. It could be done by groups or by individuals. The important thing is to give them a chance to explain their choices for such title. Second would be incomplete sentence. The main purpose of this incomplete sentence is to draw responses from the learners that will reveal their choices, beliefs, opinions, preferences, feelings, and the like. And third is giving caption to a picture because it emphasizes or the emphasis should be placed on the reasons for choosing the title and the manners by which is arrived at. So later I will give you the specific activities that specified on these strategies and integrating values across learning areas. First activity under giving one's title a poem, story, paragraph read, instruction. The student will read a literary text entitled The Legend of 100 Islands. Upon reading, they will identify and write 5 holonyms that can be found on the text, and they will provide the specific meronyms of each word. Write it at the back of the paper. So, I will ask them the following questions. First, what can be an alternative title for the text? And that could be under the giving one's title a poem, story, or paragraph. Second is, what is a legend? Third is, what do you know any story? And the theme is legend. Fourth is, what had happened on the 100 Islands? And lastly, what is the moral of the story? Through this activity, I will be giving my students the chance to express themselves or explain their choices. Why did they choose that specific title, and for their answers. Well, technically, my lesson focuses on holonyms and meronyms. But since we are in an English subject context, I will be dealing or tackling different lessons on this paper or on this plan. So second activity under incomplete sentence is this. Instruction: the table is presented on the board. Tables has its word and labeled as holonyms and meronyms. The students will read each word in front of the class. So as you can see above, there are holonyms and meronyms and there are specific examples. Technically, I will not spoon-fed my students that our lesson for this day is about holonyms and meronyms, but rather, I will let my students critically think that our lesson would be holonyms and meronyms. After that, I will ask the following questions. First, what have you observed on the text above? Second, what do you think is the similarity of differences of the two topics? Third is, what do you think is holonym? Fourth, what do you think is a meronym? And lastly, do you think it is helpful in language learning? What is the correlation of this on the second strategy? Let us always remember that the main purpose of this is to draw responses from the learners that will reveal their choices, beliefs, opinions, preferences, feelings, and the like. So technically, by asking them this following question, we can attain this competency, or we can attain this second strategy. Third activity, under giving caption to a picture, instruction. The class will be grouped into 3. Each group are given a specific picture. They will give their own caption relating to the picture, using a 2-minute role play. They can create conclusions regarding to the picture given. So technically, I will put the outside world into the 4 corners of the classroom so that the students will be equipped whenever they go outside. So I have provided rubrics so that they can have a foundation on what to do. First is creativity, which consists of 25%, correct grammar, which is 25%, relatability, 25%, pitch and diction, 25%, with a total of 100%. Again, why did I choose this rubric? Let's go back to the learning competency that I get on English curriculum guide, is to recognize prosodic features such as volume, projection, pitch, stress, intonation, juncture, and speech. So in order for them to attain this competency in English, they have to do the role play. So these are the 3 examples of the pictures that I will provide to my students. Why did I came up with this activity? Because I believe I am very confident to say that these activities are achievable, relatable, and will equip my students to be a student who are globally competitive, because learning will not just end in the 4 corners of the classroom, because learning is a lifelong process. So these activities will teach them the right value, which is the honesty, and the right communication skills, which includes proper juncture, speech, intonation, and a lot more, which are under the Curriculum Guide of English, Grade 7, Week 1.